It's day 84. We are now in Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan. It's crazy and amazing. Yesterday was our first full day here. We took a funicular gondola up kind of into the mountains. There was a little carnival happening up there. We just walked around. And then we came back down and did some shopping in the downtown area near where we're staying. A lot of fun. So I can't say much about Kazakhstan yet because we've only been here for a few minutes, literally a couple of hours. And we're going to be going up into the mountains to go skiing next week, which is why we actually came to go skiing. But I can tell you about coming into Kazakhstan with my balloon. No trouble at all. None. Leaving Turkey, I had to go through a couple of security points. No issue. Coming into Kazakhstan, no issue at all. At the security points in Turkey, I had to where the luggage was being scanned. I had to go through the initial walk-through scanner, no issue, but they did tell me to go to the next body scanner, which was the one where you put your hands up over your head and do sort of the Hove sign. I did that, and there was no issue. After that, the woman wanted to, the security woman asked to scan me with a wand. Again, no issue. That's not untypical for me. That's not atypical, because usually what happens is the underwire of my bra is what sets off the machine, or it's the metal that they detect. But I've not had to show that card for travel at all yet. The card I'm talking about is the card that describes that there's a balloon inserted inside of me for gastric weight loss purposes, and who inserted it, when it was inserted, when it will be taken out, and who to contact if there are any medical issues. So I have not needed to use that for travel. That was my big worry, that I would look like I was carrying drugs, particularly since I was traveling to places that had very strict drug smuggling laws. Turkey, particularly. I didn't want to have a midnight, what's the name of the movie? Midnight, I forgot the name of the movie. Anyway, the movie where the guy is smuggling in, I think, hashish, and he gets caught and he goes to jail. I can't think of the name of the movie. Every phrase with midnight is coming to me except that one. Kazakhstan, I wasn't sure about the rules, the laws here. Again, of course, I'm not carrying any drugs, but I wasn't sure how strict or not strict they would be. So I really made sure to have that card on me and near me. No issue whatsoever. So you can travel pretty well with this balloon. The one time I did need to use the card, was I was having a medical emergency, and I forgot that I had the card. So I didn't have it, and I ended up explaining and trying to show on a computer what I had to explain why I couldn't take certain medication. But everything worked out well. My back is totally fine now. I am using cream to take care of the inflammation when I feel it in my back, which takes the place of the anti-inflammatory pills that I would normally take to stop my back from hurting. It works. It works actually really well. I was able to be very comfortable on the flight from Istanbul to Almaty, which was about 5 hours, actually a little bit more than 5 hours, and it was filled, but there were empty seats between myself and my mother, so I was able to kind of use two seats and contort myself into a position that I could sort of curl up and sleep flat in or on the two seats. I would not have been able to do that had my back been doing what it was doing before, I couldn't even sit. I couldn't even walk. I couldn't even stand the way it was before. Diet-wise, I've been following what I know to be a happy diet. I'll call it happy eating, which means I don't have pain and I don't have bloating and all those terrible things. I don't have a lot of gross gas. But I haven't really been watching calories. There was so much good food in Turkey, so much good food in Istanbul. So we ate and we ate and we ate and we ate and we ate. I definitely overate in Istanbul. Now we're in Kazakhstan, and in Kazakhstan we're not staying in hotels. That makes a difference because we're cooking our own food. My fiance is here. He met us here, so and he loves to cook, and he cooks very, very healthily. So as long as we stick with that, I'm fine. Have not been tested by a restaurant yet. That will be tomorrow because the hosts who helped us find this apartment are helping him with some other things. They've given us like places to see and sites and lots of stuff. They really helped us with organizing this trip. We decided to take them out for dinner, and we wanted to go to authentic Kazakhstani restaurant. So tomorrow I will be tested as far as what I can eat from traditional Kazakhstani food in restaurant. But so far so good. I haven't weighed myself since leaving New York. My guess is I probably have gained, if nothing else, just because of the sheer amount that I was eating in Turkey. And yesterday in Kazakhstan, the first day in Kazakhstan, I didn't eat very much, but I did eat bread. And I'm still weirdly jet lagged, and still have some work projects to finish. So I'm sort of using my jet lag to work in the off hours, which is why I'm whispering now, because now it's about 7 in the morning, but for some reason I was super wide awake at 3 a.m. and I decided to get up and just get some work done. I'm finished with that now, which is why I wanted to do this recording. Then I'm going to go back to bed with my fiance, and then we'll get up maybe in like an hour, I don't know, and go for a walk, get breakfast going, and then get on with our day. So not been eating so healthily, have probably put on weight. I hope to get into a better groove by the end of this weekend. I still have a lot of work to do, so I'm still going to be using these weird hours of the day. But I'm going to try to eat better. My fiance is cooking really healthily. He's cooking soups and making salads, but he did buy some really good bread, and that's what I ended up eating a lot of yesterday. I skipped my meals, but I did eat some bread while he and my mom were having dinner. We have a lot of candy here. He has a sweet tooth, and we brought gifts, and we brought Turkish delights. Of course, you can't go to Turkey without getting Turkish delights, so we have those. So basically, I am struggling. I won't say I'm struggling. I'm enjoying myself. I'm on vacation, and I don't want to be thinking about the failure of my diet or my body or something like that. I want to enjoy myself. What's really important to me here, and it's going to be important the whole 3.5 weeks that we're going to be here, is having happy food days that don't cause any kind of gastric disruption in my body. I don't want that crazy gas around my fiance. I don't want to ruin the days with feeling bad. I was already feeling really guilty about what happened in Istanbul with my back, that it got so bad that in the middle of the night I had to call for help, and then an ambulance came, and then I ended up in an emergency room and staying in the hospital for an hour or two. I have to say, wonderful, wonderful things about the Turkish emergency medical system and the care that I got. But I did feel guilty that sort of overshadowed the few days that we had in Istanbul. The pain that I was dealing with my back for a day and a half, and then that crazy night. After that, everything was great. After that, I was cured. But until then, it's we only had 3.5 days in Istanbul, and a day and a half of them I was like that. So kind of bad. I'm hoping to avoid having anything like that here. So I'm being very careful with what I eat. And that's why I ended up eating that bread, because I was like, well, bread is safe. I'll have a little piece, and I had another piece, another piece. No butter, nothing on it. And it was brown bread, but I ate it. And then my fiance was like, you gotta have a salad, you gotta have some soup. Come on. It was vegetable soup with chicken. I ate the broth and the vegetables, no issues. And I ate the salad, which I made. They had some mozzarella cheese in there, so I left the cheese out. So it was just tomatoes, cilantro, apples, olives, peppers. I don't know what else was in there. So I also have to say, so I've tried to eat well when I do eat. I will also say that there's, and I know again this is TMI, oversharing, but the whole concept of these videos, sort of oversharing what's happening to my body. I'm on my cycle, and my cycle started when I got to Istanbul. So far my entire vacation has been, I've had the things that come with my cycle. So for me, that means there's a certain freedom that I don't have, right? I feel a little self-conscious about blood. I feel a little self-conscious about hormonally. Am I going kind of crazy hormonally? I can't take the normal medications I would take to help with the pain. Not even talking about back pain, just cramping. I can't take the I can't take the period pain medication I normally would take. And I have a sneaky suspicion that my back pain may be related to my cycle as well, which kind of makes me worried now for future cycles, particularly on this balloon where I can't take medication. Now I kind of know what to do. I've got these other creams I can use, but I was not prepared, and I should have been prepared, and I wish somebody would have told me about how to be prepared. So I'm telling you, if anyone out there is watching this, if you have any kind of condition that causes inflammation and you choose to get this balloon, make sure to always carry with you some kind of anti-inflammatory cream that's going to help relieve that pain. Because for me, it seemed to be a perfect storm. A really tough flight from New York to Istanbul that physically was very, very difficult, with terrible seats. There was no room to move. My back was just on fire. My mom was not physically well, and so I kind of had to help her along with carry all of our luggage, which was way too heavy. We didn't overpack, but we packed a lot, and I really have to look at that next time. There was a lot of standing, waiting, pulling, heaving, or hefting. And then, we went to a place where we needed to just be walking around all the time, which is technically normally a healthy thing, except when my back is doing what it's doing, and I really just needed to totally isolate and not isolate, but I need to lay flat on a hard surface and just treat it. When you have back pain like I had, it's hard to make people understand that, like, no, a stretch isn't really going to help right now, or no, like, just walking it out isn't going to help right now. I try to talk myself into that just to keep things going and to keep, to not ruin my mom's time. But the truth of the matter is that I think I made it worse by walking so much on the second day we were here, I think. And then that's why that night my back was just, so that on top of whatever my menstrual cycle was doing to my back, on top of the fact that I had a lot of stress over the work I hadn't finished for the job, a lot of stress about making the deadline that I knew I wasn't going to make. Even my mom said to me, I think the stress is also part of the pain that you're having in your back. I think you're carrying a lot of like weight stress, right? Mental stress that's affecting you too. And I think she was 100% right. I didn't meet that deadline. I failed at that honestly, will admit that. But I did get more work done towards that. And I did get some other things taken care of that helped free me up to get more of that work done going forward. And the minute I got that sorted, that also helped a little. This seemed to like alleviate. Now all of that happened around the same time as my getting the treatment for my back. Um, Maybe it was just getting perspective and going like, listen, if you don't meet the deadline, you don't meet the deadline, but you got one body and you got to take care of this. This is the important thing. Whatever it was, all of it worked to help me feel better, that I could actually sit, walk, move normally again. Yeah, so I would say that to anybody out there that relates to, something that's chronic or something that is off and on, like my back pain. But also, I would add this for your menstrual cycle. If you want to get a balloon and you have you have a history of very painful menstrual cycles, before you get the balloon, and certainly before you are away from home, but before you get the balloon, work out some alternative pain therapy for your cycle, for your situation. It's really important. I wish I had that sorted before I traveled. I was so worried about whether the balloon would show up on an X-ray machine. I didn't think about, hey, what do I do about my cycle, about my back problems, and so it really came to a head. So that's it. Today will be day 2. Well, yeah, in an hour or so when we all get up, it'll be day 2 here in Kazakhstan. I hope it'll be interesting. I know it's going to be interesting. I think if there's one thing I'm a little concerned about is that I think my mom has a lot less mobility than I thought. So we have to figure that out. My fiance is a walker. He'll climb a mountain for, come back down for lunch and then go back up. He's just like that. My mom's the exact opposite. I think about 100 steps is like exhausting for her. So we're figuring it out. So today we'll work it out. I, on the other hand, tend to be quite sedentary, which is how I got in this whole overweight situation. So I really try to use the time that we have together, myself and my fiance, to really up my activity. So I'm going to try to figure out a way today to make sure my mom gets happy and is taken care of and is having an interesting and fun time, and that me and him are also able to fully, explore the city, the place that we're at that neither one of us have been to before, and that we are able to physically move, because physical movement, I think, is going to make the big difference for me. Like I said, I think I'm there with what I eat, how I eat. I think the next step for me is getting active, and I need to do it fast. So cheers to that. I'm drinking just tea, a little bit of honey and lemon this time for flavor. And I did have a piece of Russian chocolate just now. I'm not going to lie. It's called Step in Russian. Step. I don't know. It's sort of like a Russian Snickers. I don't know. Except for the work stuff that I'm still struggling to get done. I'm so happy. And except for my period, just causing me still to have a little bit of like that fat feeling and the feeling of like your hormones being everywhere. Except for those 2 things, I'm so happy right now. I'm so happy right now. My man, my mom, we're all getting along. We're in a fun new place. We're in a cool new apartment. We're a cool apartment. It's a really cool apartment. Like, I could live in this apartment. It's really nice. The neighborhood is a lot of fun. I love adventures and exploring. So, a new place, a new city, a new language, all of that is like, ooh, it's tickling all my senses. And I can't wait to see and do more. It's cold. It's very cold. I think it was -11. I think it was -11 today. I have to see if that's, hold on. Let me see if that's Celsius or Fahrenheit, because that means 2 very different things. Okay. So right now in Almaty, Okay, in Fahrenheit, it's 34 degrees. I don't know if that's easy to see. It's 34 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's not freezing. Um, yeah, so it must have been in Celsius when I saw that. Let me see. Yeah, it's 1 degree, so it's actually a lot warmer than it was yesterday. It's really a lot warmer than it was yesterday, because I think yesterday it really was like minus 11 Celsius. And today it's 1 degree Celsius. In Almaty, or 34 degrees Fahrenheit. And like I said, it's early in the morning, just after 7 a.m. So it's going to get warmer, I think, which will make it a really nice day for walking. So I hope I do a lot more walking today. Hope I do a lot of walking today. Okay, hopefully I won't have to whisper on the next one because I will be recording at a regular time. Bye from Almaty, Kazakhstan.